to Little Clifty Homestead. Hi, my name is Shannon, and I'm so glad that you come back. If this is your first time here, welcome. Today we're going to do my first swap. When I started homesteading, there's a lot of things that I swapped, and the number one swap was this. I love bread, but the ingredient list on this was so long and you couldn't pronounce a lot of it. So the first thing I done was got rid of that. So this is my tried and true bread recipe. I absolutely love it, and it actually makes 4 loaves. So it'll make 4 loaves. I'll keep one out, and then I'll freeze the other 3, and then I'll get it out so that for my husband and I, it gives us 1 loaf a week, which is about what we eat, and then it gives me, so I make 1 bread recipe a month, and I have bread for the whole month. So my daughter, who has 2 kids, and her husband, they go through about 2 loaves, so it lasts them about 2 weeks. So all you need is, you'll need your all-purpose flour or bread flour. Today I'm using all-purpose flour. You'll need your yeast, and this is you just need regular yeast. You don't have to be the active rice. You just need yeast because we're going to give it time to bloom. You'll need some butter, cooking oil. You can use butter, avocado, olive oil. You can use lard, whatever you want to use. And you need sugar, or honey, and you need salt. Alright, so you look at this, that's not sugar. This is actually organic cane sugar. So I don't use I'm going to do a recipe on my swaps. I'm going to do a video on my swaps, and that's one of them, and then my salt. So you need to, it says calls for 2 packages of yeast. Well, I don't have a package of yeast, but I do know that a package of yeast equals to about 2½ teaspoons. So I'm going to do, and it calls for 2, so I need 5 teaspoons of yeast. Roundabout. 1, 3, 4, 5. I need warm water. Alright, so, and then I'm going to need 4 cups of lukewarm water. Okay, so I have yeast everywhere, y'all. Alright, so who says that cooking is nice and pretty? It's clean. I like it messy, but the messier I am, the better it tastes, it seems like. I have 4 cups of lukewarm water. You want it to be around 102 to 110 degrees. Anything over 110 is going to damage your yeast. So I'm going to pour this in. And then I'm going to run it just a little bit, just to get it mixed up. And then I'm going to I got it mixed up, so then I'm going to add my sugar, my oil, and my salt. So I need a ½ cup of sugar. I'll put that in there. Yeast likes sugar. I'm going to put my 1/4 cup of oil in here. I'm just using avocado oil today because it's just what I have over here. I usually use butter, melted butter. But my mom likes it, and my mom can't have butter, so she likes my bread. So if I use avocado oil, she can have it. And then I need 1 tablespoon of salt. Now remember, this is making 4 loaves, so 1 tablespoon is actually not a lot of salt when it makes 4 loaves. Alright, so I'm going to let this stir for a minute. Now, this is my Christmas present for my husband. It is a Bosch mixer. I have the dough attachment on here, and what it does, it mixes and it kneads the bread for me. So I'm going to put the flour in here, and I'm going to mix it, and I'm going to let it do its thing, and I don't have to knead it by hand. If you don't have a KitchenAid mixer with the dough hook or this, that's fine. You can do it. And actually, that's how I've done it for years. We've been homesteading for 4 years now, and that's what I've been doing. I've been making it by hand until this past birthday, Christmas. It was my birthday Christmas present. So, so what you do is you're going to put this in a bowl. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to mix it with a whisk or a spoon. You're going to mix it, and you're just going to mix it by hand. I love this, but also too, I don't like this because with this, I have you lose the personal touch. You know, you put it in here, you press a button, you walk off, which makes life a whole lot easier. But also, too, when I sit there and I knead the bread, I mix it and I knead the bread, and I enjoy kneading the bread. I'm kneading it for 10 to 15 minutes, but this is the time that I get to spend with God. I get to think about the people who are eating the bread. I get to enjoy that. It just seems like it makes it more personal and more loving. You can't tell the difference. I feel like sometimes I can tell the difference in the loaf of bread, you know, but really not. But if it comes down to doing it by hand or by the mixer, I would probably choose the hand, because the hand, the kneading the dough and stuff is where I feel like the love and the person getting personal with my food, because I want to slow down. The whole point of homesteading is doing old-fashioned ways and slowing down. But my husband bought it for me, and I'm going to use it because he bought it for me, and it is a special treat. So we're going to do this today, do it this way, and I may go online and I may do another video on how to do it without this, and let you see that too. So that way, but don't let them, if you don't have a mixer, don't let that stop you, because it shouldn't stop you at all, because it's going to be, because I don't want that to stop you, because you can do this anyway. Alright, so we got this in here, and we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes undisturbed. So we're just going to let it sit. We're going to see it blooming, and it's going to start blooming, it's going to start bubbling. So we're going to set the timer for 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back. Alright, so you see how it's blooming? When I say the yeast is blooming, it is literally coming up and it has bloomed. So now it is foamy and it looks really good. So when your yeast gets to this stage, we are ready to go. So let's get started. So we're going to start by adding 1 cup of flour, and then at a time, and we're going to start letting it get mixed. And you're going to add now, the recipe calls for 9 to 10 cups, okay? Now, that doesn't say that you're going to be using 9 to 10 cups. It's all dependent on your house, the humidity outside, and all that. So you're going to feel the texture of the bread. So it is like almost pancake syrup mixture. So I'm going to add a couple more cups of flour. And I'm going to say that is going to be about right. We may have to put 1 or 2 more in. I learned the hard way. We put that up. So I'm going to let it do its thing and see where it's at. This, you want to see it pulling off the sides. If you're doing it in the bowl and you're stirring it, you still want to see it pulling off the sides. I'm going to add 1 more cup. It's still a little wet. Alright, so we're still really wet and tacky. See, I'm tacky. So I'm going to add 1 more cup of flour to it. It rained last night and it's really humid outside, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour, probably about a half a cup, not full cup. And then we're going to go from there. This is something that you have to play with. Okay, so now it's not as tacky now. So I think it's about to the right in this. It's about to the right to start letting it knead. I'm going to let it knead. Now, when it gets to this point, this is where you're taking it out of the bowl and you're going to put it on a flour countertop and you're going to knead it for 10 to 15 minutes. Now with this machine, we're going to let it knead probably for about 8 minutes. I'm going to put a little bit more flour in there. There we go. And then I'm going to let it do its thing for 8 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes. So it's been 8 minutes. So we're taking this off. Now I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go ahead and get this out. Get our elastic dough. And then I'm going to put a little flour on my countertop. And then I just like to do this because this is just me. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to knead it a little bit and make sure I get all that goodie. Get it all ready because it's still a little wet. Look at that, y'all.
There you go.
And then I'm going to knead it just a little bit. Make it a good ball. Like that. Now, this is ready. It's already starting to rise. So I have my bowl here. I have a paper towel and my oil. So I'm going to drizzle about a teaspoon, maybe a little more oil in there. And I'm going to take my paper towel and I'm going to smear it on the bottom, the sides. Get on my bowl. That way it won't stick. And then I'm going to put just a little bit more down the bottom, about another half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to put it bottom side, roll it around, and then put it, and then you should be smearing it without pushing it down. Alright, then we are ready to take our towels and cover it up. And you want to put it in a warm spot. Like, you can put it over top of your stove or just somewhere where it's warm. You don't want it in front of the air conditioner or something like that. I'm going to let it rise till double in size. We're going to sit here and we're going to let it rise to double in size. It could be an hour. It depends on how hot your house is, how humid, like I said, it is. It could be an hour, it could be 30 minutes. But when it's doubled in size, you're going to come back. And so I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so it's been almost an hour. As you can see, my bread has doubled in size. So I have my 4 pans out. I'm going to punch it down. Ooh, big air bubble. Punch that down and let that be going down. And while it is, I'm going to put a little bit of oil in each pan to grease it. Ooh, that's a little too much. So I'm going to do that one first. So I'm going to grease the corners, the sides really good because you don't want your bread to be sticky. You don't want it to stick to, you don't want it to be sticking to your pan, your loaf pan. So we're going to get it all good and greased and let it any loaf pans will work. And a lot of times you can find loaf pans at thrift stores and yard sales because people just don't bake bread anymore. I guess I'm unique because I do old-fashioned ways. I don't do the easy. Sometimes old-fashioned is not the easiest way. It's a little harder, but it's more, I think it's more rewarding. Alright, so I'm going to fold this back into a ball. I'm just going to fold each corner in and then bring it in here. Got a little bit of flour. I don't want a lot of flour, but I got a little bit of flour to keep it from sticking. I got this cutter, but you can take a knife, you can take anything that you want. We're going to cut it in half. Roll it up. And then we're going to try to get it as even as possible. And then we're going to cut it in half again. I'm going to roll it into a ball. So I'm going to roll this into a ball. Cut it in half. And then roll it into a ball. Now we are ready to shape our loaves. Now when you do a loaf, you can do a loaf in different ways. I'll show you the way that I do it. I'll sit here and I'm just going to play with it. Tuck it in. Stretch it. Get the air out of it. And then roll it. So now I've got all four, so I'm going to poke some holes. And then we're going to cover it back up, and then we're going to go from there. I'm going to cover them back up and let them rest for about another hour until they're double in size. At this time, I'm going to set my oven to 350, get it warming up. That way, whenever they're done and ready and doubled in size, I can pop them in the oven. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes. My oven is already heated up and ready to go. As you can see, it has doubled in size. So now I'm going to stick this in the oven. I'm going to put it on 350 for about 30 minutes. And about halfway through, I'll put a piece of foil over it to not let it get brown so much. So I'll see you back in a minute. There you go, my homemade bread. It's ready, it's golden brown, and it looks delicious. But now the hardest part is here. The hardest part is waiting for it to cool before you slice it and open it. So if you want this bread to last all week long, you need to let it cool before you slice it and eat it. But if you want to go ahead and let it last for a day or two, go ahead, get that butter out, slice that bread, and let that butter melt and ooey gooey. I think I may just do that. Alright, thank you for joining me today. I hope you get your apron on and make your own bread. The recipe is in the description below. If you need any help, just comment. And please remember to give me a thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe to my channel. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell where you'll get all notifications. So whenever I post, you'll be the first one to know that the video is up. See ya. Bye.